Hello, 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 friends. Welcome to another live. Say hello in the chat. Hopefully, I can see the chat as you all come in. Say hello and let me know where you're joining me from. If you are new here to my space on LinkedIn, definitely say hello. I'm Chevy Mac. Come on in. I'm not seeing any comments yet, but let me know. Let me go to my phone. Technology sometimes, y'all. But if you can see me, and if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know in the chat. All right, y'all. So hopefully you can hear me clearly because I cannot see. Sometimes internet is just not the thing, but it's all good. But today I want to talk about the impact of underperforming managers. Okay, so definitely if you can have anything to add, drop it in the chat. Hopefully I can see it. Let's see. Sometimes internet is just not. All right. So yeah. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Welcome, Rochelle. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make sure that you can hear me, you can see me, and I can see the chat. So finally, I am able to see it. So hello and welcome. Let us know where you're joining from. If you're new to my space, like I said, welcome. I am Chevy Mac, and I'm excited to be here. Usually I'm here every Wednesday, but today I want to talk about the impact of underperforming managers. So as a retired Air Force veteran, definitely we all were not performing at the same level. I've definitely worked with individuals who were underperforming, but still got credit for things. So if you are in a leadership space and you have managers who are underperforming, I would love to get your thoughts and insight as well. So definitely drop it in the chat. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, welcome. So before I jump in, if you are new here, let me just introduce myself. I'm Chevy Mac, retired Air Force veteran after 22 plus years in the military. So serving, leading, developing, training individuals, groups of people, facilitating, coaching, all the things in the hospitality space, but also in the classroom as well. So I'm excited to be retired, but also be in my business as a full-time business owner. And what I do in my company, Mac Leadership Academy, is really partner with leaders in the food service industry to enhance their managers' performance, productivity, and retention. So if you are in the leadership position in the food industry, and you will love for someone to come out to enhance your manager's performance, productivity, and retention, then definitely reach out to me. Just send me a message, or you can email me at info@macleadershipacademy.com. All right. So let's talk about the impact of underperforming managers. And the reason I want to talk about this topic is because I've experienced it too often. We have individuals, managers who are not performing at their level, at their capacity. And that could be due to many different reasons. Okay. And one thing I want to really focus in is like, why, as leaders, are we taking on the role for our managers? Okay. We hire them for a specific reason. And this is not me bashing managers, but this is me just speaking from my experience, but also conversations I've had with potential clients who are looking to bring me in to develop their managers. And one thing that I'm hearing is managers are not performing at the level that the leader is requiring them or need them to perform. So if you can relate to this in your current space as a leader, maybe past experience, like drop a one in the chat, because managers definitely can shift your business for the good. They are the middle person who is doing all the things when they have the resources, okay? Which is key. So let's talk about it. What happens when your managers are not performing at their best? Productivity drops. Not only for that manager, but for the entire team. So think about it. When a person or a manager is not performing, that means they're not showing up as their best. Excuse me. They don't care about the quality of work that they're delivering, because even like I said, my potential, this person that I'm communication with, they're saying the same thing. The managers are not performing. The manager are not delivering quality work. The managers are not taking time to review their emails. Managers are not ensuring that the team, there's cohesiveness within the team, because the manager does not, for me, I'm thinking the manager is either checked out or they don't have the time for it to be developed. They're not being developed. Yeah, exactly, Rochelle. From past experiences, some are underdeveloped. And from what this CEO shared with me, I can tell based on just what this person shared that these managers are not developed to be managers. And sometimes it's not a fault of that individual. It is a fault of the organization, because the organization did not take the time to make sure that these individuals were developed before stepping into the role. Because managers is just like plug and play. We need you here. Plug and play. We need you here. Plug and play. We need you here, without truly developing that person. And one thing I will credit the Air Force for is continued development. But we did have individuals in the military, in the Air Force, from my experience in my career field, who were underperforming, who was just coming in, doing the bare minimum. And sometimes that was due to because of life. That was due to because they didn't like processes and how things were going. But as a CEO, what happens when you have managers who are underperforming? Now you got to take on that workload. Now the other team members have to take on that workload, which is unfair, which impacts morale for your organization. So like I said, when you have managers who are underperforming, it impacts your costs, it impacts morale, it impacts productivity, it impacts the culture of your organization. So as a CEO, as the leader, what are some things that you can do to ensure that these managers that are not performing at their best, at the level that they need to be in, what are some things that you can start doing today? Because I get it, everybody is busy, but guess what? In order for you to succeed, in order for you to continue to grow your managers and develop your managers, you have to invest in them. Because if you continue to just kind of let them be in their own zone of not really being developed, guess what? Things will never change. You will have people leaving, you'll have managers leaving and moving on to something else. You will have quality workers leaving because the manager is not challenging them. The manager is not supporting them. They can't go to the manager because the manager is not mentally there. The manager is checked out. So when it comes to underperforming managers, can it be corrected? Yes. And that comes with you taking action as the leader, as a CEO, and being intentional, not just checking the box and say, hey, we send them to training for 2 days, or we send them, to a workshop for 90 minutes. No, how are you deliberately investing in your managers? Let me share this comment from Rochelle. Rochelle said, yes, so true. If you, my supervisor, were fired and I became the leader, I had to invest in my professional development to step up in the role. Yes, because nobody wants to be led by someone who does not know how to lead them. And if your managers are not able to lead effectively and efficiently, then what are you doing as the leader? How do you expect your people to continue to deliver and be productive? How do you expect them to be in an environment where they thrive? Because when you have underperforming managers, your other people, they're not thriving because now they're worried that, okay, I have to pick up the slack from this manager. This manager is checked out. And I've been there while serving in the military. So you have to decide, do I continue to allow this manager to continue to underperform but collect a paycheck, or do I invest in their development? Do I make it a priority to develop them? And not just a quick little, like I said, check the box, let's do a quick little training. Like, they need more than 90 minutes. They need more than 2 days. They need continued development. And that could be monthly training. That could be bi-weekly development, coaching, mentorship. So you have to ask yourself as a leader, how much longer are you willing to allow this specific manager to continue to underperform? Because at the end of the day, it's not serving that manager, it's not serving the team, and it's not serving the organization. But too often people are in that position because we need the body. We need the man in. Well, I'm telling you, by just needing the man in is creating more friction in your organization. So instead of saying, oh, we need the body to fill this role, develop the person to deliver in the role. And you can do this in very simple ways. Understand what is going on with the person, because sometimes life is happening, which is causing that person to underperform. Understand what's going on. Identify what resources can you put in place to make sure that this person starts to receive development, leadership development, communication development, team building development, self-leadership development, emotional intelligence development. Not just on the work development, but also on the personal side development as well too. What are some additional resources that you can make sure that this person is receiving? What mentorship can you provide or can you bring in for them to receive to develop themselves as leaders? And if you feel like, hey, I've done this and this and this to develop that individual and they're still underperforming, then the next step is to remove that person. Maybe let them go. And sometimes that may be hard to do because you need a body. But too often we have to remove our, we're thinking that we need the body, but we have to say, okay, what is this person being here, underperforming? What is it costing myself, the organization, and my people? And it may be time to let that person go. It may be time to have that tough but necessary conversation. But when you are able to develop your managers, not plug them into a position and expect them to deliver right away, but you actually put them in the position, but you're developing them, making sure they have the resources that they need, the communication between you and that manager or multiple managers is there. Ability to make decisions is easy. They don't have to go through 5, 6 levels to make a decision. So as you think about your managers that are underperforming, maybe it's one manager, maybe it's 2 managers. What can you start doing today to make sure that these individuals have the resources that they need to develop themselves so that they can be better for the organization, they can be better for themselves, and also for the team that they're leading? Okay. So let me know in the chat, what are some example, maybe you've experienced when, maybe you experienced on managers that were underperforming in your past role, your current role. Let me know in the chat. I'll wait because sometimes I move so fast. But really think about it. As you're navigating your business, you're navigating your organization, you have managers that are underperforming. Really think about the impact it is costing you as the leader. You have to pick up the individual slack. Time is being wasted. Resources being wasted. Processes is not being done correctly. So let me know. But if there are no questions, that's you can drop it in the chat later on, because I can definitely come back and see who all left a comment. But let me know #replay. Let me know if you are in a position of leadership and you have managers that are not performing at their best. Let me know, what are you doing to make sure that they have the resources and the development that they need to shift out of that space. Exactly, Rochelle. Mentorship, professional development plan, continuous feedback. Continuous feedback is key. I think so often people get so busy, especially when they're in a leadership role, because a lot is happening. And I get it. Being in the military, there's always a fire to put out, or this is going on, this is happening. But your people still has to be developed. You have to find time for mentorship. You have to create a development plan. And how often are you using that development plan to make sure that you and that manager, or you and that manager or managers are having conversation? When was the last time you even opened up that plan to see where is this person at track wise for the development progress? And how often are you giving these individuals feedback? All of this impact their ability to perform, increase productivity, and also to retain in your organization. So yes, when it comes to underperforming managers, it definitely impacts your organization. It impacts how people work, how they communicate, whether or not they stay with your organization. Okay. So you have to decide. Do I want to continue to let things be the way they are? Or are you ready to shift how your managers are performing? And that comes with intentional development. And this is what my company does, is to provide effective and transformative development for managers so that they can enhance their performance, productivity, and retention with your company. So if you would love to learn more about my Go Beyond Management Leadership Training Program, then I invite you to reach out to me at info@Mac Leadership Academy to see how we can take your managers from just managing to truly leading in their role. Okay? Any questions before I go? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Rochelle. Definitely appreciate you sharing your insight. And if you're watching this later on, #replay, definitely, if you have questions and you want to add to the conversation, by all means, drop it in the chat. And I want to thank you all for being here. And I will be here next Wednesday live as well, too, unless life is happening, because I do have young kids. But definitely, thank you for joining. And I am Shevy Mack, your leadership and operation expert, and I help. Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much for joining me. And I partner with the CLO and CPO in the food service industry to enhance their managers' performance, productivity, and retention. And I do this using my Go Beyond Leadership Management Training Program, which comes along with a behavioral assessment. So definitely, if this is something that you would love to bring into your organization, please reach out at info@Mac Leadership Academy. MacLeadershipAcademy.com. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I will see you all on my next live. Have an amazing day.